Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. It is time yet again for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we'll be looking at a series between thundertoss and monchi. Or monchi, or something like that. I think it's monchi, I don't know. thundertoss is our Zerg player. How hilarious is that? The purple Zerg player, thundertoss, spawning in the 12 o'clock spawn location here on the map Metalopolis. And then over here in the 3 o'clock location, our green Protoss player is going to be monchi. So yes, my friends, this is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg PvZ, monchi versus thundertoss here on Metalopolis. Starting things out, Overlord of thundertoss heading to the cross-positional spawn location. That is hilarious because, as we can see, monchi is in that near air position. So had he sent the Overlord on the typical route that most Zerg players will do at the start of the game, he would have spotted out monchi immediately. And monchi going for actually an interesting wall off. You don't, a lot of times you don't see the pylon there at that frontal wall. A lot of times that pylon is back and you just see the gateway and the cybernetics core filling up that wall, and then a zealot is just going to chill out in that open space. But instead, going this route here with the pylon at the front. Now the one disadvantage to this is the fact that you actually, with this, you're able to get that, you're certainly able to get that wall up and it's just as effective, but it's a little more vulnerable with the pylon there just because it has a little bit less HP, so it makes it a little easier to break. monchi moving on out with his scouting probe now, checking that near air position up in the 12 o'clock, and he is going to find thundertoss immediately. Moves on through, spots that spawning pool, and also trying to delay some mining there. As you can see with the probe, he's sporadically hitting it, because there can only be 2 guys on a mineral patch at a time. So if he has a probe as one guy, then that makes it so that thundertoss can't have a second drone on that as well. monchi will be moving down with a little patrolling probe here to delay the expansion of thundertoss for as long as possible. I keep wanting to call the Protoss player thundertoss. Why not, right? Moving around in a rallying position, and he continues to delay this expansion. And unfortunately, thundertoss, oh, there you go. thundertoss able to force that probe away and drop down the hatchery. And there you go. So expansion gets up a little bit earlier than he would be able to otherwise. Good job there by thundertoss. Still no extractor, so he's going to be delaying that metabolic boost quite a long while. But as a result, he will have a lot of extra resources to come out with those double queens that he needs, come out with a few lings. You can see 4 lings here in the early game. Overlord rerouting, moving on over into the back position over here. Still a little bit of a vulnerable spot, but that's pretty much the best place he can go. He's probably going to use that at some point for secondary scouting. We get an Overlord over here in that spot as well. monchi up on the double gas, still no expo coming out for him. He's going to be at least waiting a little while longer. He may go 1 gate expand. We'll have to see what he ends up deciding to do. Ling checking the backside for secondary scout possibilities from a probe. Here comes a zealot moving across the map, and there you go. Ling at the tower is going to be able to spot that. This is going to force the creation of a few more lings, and that's actually really good there on monchi's because thundertoss normally doesn't want to build any more lings right now. Normally the Zerg player will stick with just those 4 for quite a while. You can see they'll force to build a little more just in case he has to deal with that. The queen itself will have a actually hard time as that zealot is able to do significant amount of damage to it pretty quickly. Now moving up to the tower, this ling's going to be in trouble. Pulls away though. Zealot needs 3 shots to kill him, and not going to be able to get that right now as the lings, of course, are quicker. One of them teasing a bit, completely walking by the slow Zealot. Zealot's like, I want to get you, but you can't. Oh, here come the sentries, and save the day for the Protoss player. monchi now with 2 sentries and a Zealot in play. Here's the expansion, so he did go for that 1 gate expand build. Overlord over here getting ready for sacrificial scouting at some point in the future. thundertoss with this Overlord will be able to check out that expansion sometime very shortly, although I'm assuming he's going to scout that expo just with his lings. He definitely doesn't need that Overlord to get that info out. Overlord moving position right now and actually pulling on right over here. And then I'm expecting him to move on in at some point in the game. Again, the whole point of that is to get up in your opponent's base and see, hey, what the heck's going on over here? Try to figure out what they're doing in terms of build and everything like that. Metabolic boost coming out for thundertoss. Just 1 guy on the extractor at the moment as he continues to focus on those minerals. Do we have some nice creep spread going on? It does have 3 queens, and there's the 3rd one right there. So 1 queen dedicated to dropping creep, and we got another tumor about to come down as he connects that main with that natural, spreads that creep out, and continues to, you know, just spread that creep. It's such a good idea. Zerg players, please do it. So helpful, so beneficial. Very interesting here in the 1 gate expand into Forge. A lot of times you'll see a Forge fast expand, But or sometimes you'll see a 1 gate expand into 2 to 3 gates in a robo. But we saw 1 gate expand into Forge here from Monchi. Now, with the cannons, that's obviously going to help his defense as he is delayed a little bit in the amount of army he can have coming out with that Forge. But this is also going to open up the opportunity for him to get some upgrades nice and early, and that must be what he's planning here. Robotics coming through back here, able to get an observer scout in his opponent's base very shortly. thundertoss continues to drone up very hard. We got 5 more drones coming out. Now he does have a roach warren, but no roaches in play yet. He's just really focusing on his economy and spreading this creep. Just plain macro focus. Monchi moving out though with sentry heavy forces. Lings gets a scout that. Speedlings bypassing the force, checking that natural. Maybe try to do a little bit of damage. Maybe not. Pulling back right now. Realizing they're not going to be able to do too much with those sentry forces pulling back. You can see there with the Ling at the tower, he spotted that that push was not continuing, and that tipped him off to the fact that it was pulling back to the natural, and that tipped him off to pull those Lings back. Smart move there, thundertoss. Third base coming out here for thundertoss, also continuing to mass up those Lings. He's got level 1 melee upgrades also coming out, finally working up those extractors. Keeps building and canceling stuff. I don't know what this is all about. 2 spines coming down though, more Lings over here. Still no roaches in play. He's got that just in case he does deal with a push at some point. Wants to make sure he can mass up those roaches if necessary. So many gateways coming through. 5 gateways right over there, and we have 2 already in place. So that's going to be 7 gates total here for Monchi. Monchi also just about to finish his level 1 weapons upgrades. Coming out with some immortals. Did he get that observer? No, he did not. He went straight for immortal. So he's planning a push right now, planning a 2-base push. And thundertoss hopefully is going to be able to scout that out. Force field wall, I guess a bit unnecessary, I'm going to say. I don't really think he really needed to do that. It allowed him to kill off a few more Lings, but there wasn't exactly a ton there to begin with. And here we go. Monchi prepares to push pylon at the edge of the base, allowing him to warp onto the low ground. Do we have any probes moving out with the force? Doesn't look like it. But he doesn't really need it because he's in close air position. You can see how close this pylon warp in is to that natural expansion. He's going to just stick with that for now. Pushing forward, still no observer though, so he can't use that opportunity to kill off this creep. We get some Lings chilling out over here. Some Lings actually moving down in this direction as well. He's going to pull up the backside. Now here come the force fields, prevent those queens from pulling back. Lings coming up the backside. We got plenty of spines over here. This is going to help thundertoss quite a bit. But the Protoss army continues its push right now. Guardian Shield making those spines a little bit less effective. We've got a few Hydras coming out, a couple of Roaches, 8 Roaches plus 3 Hydras about to pop. But Monchi is doing a lot of damage here. Kills off all the spines, and those Immortals are going to tear through the Roach numbers. This is not looking good right now for thundertoss at all. Watch this expansion drop in a matter of seconds. Those Immortals just lay waste to the buildings. It is unreal. Oh man, poor buildings. Take it easy. 1 hatch down. The macro hatch is going to get taken out too. It doesn't look like there's a lot that thundertoss can do over there. He's got a few units up there in the main. He's got 1 Hydra. He is doomed. See you later. And a couple of units over here. thundertoss does have 5 Hydras just about to pop out, but that's not going to be enough. We're seeing more and more reinforcements. Fortunately, thundertoss loses to the 2-base push there from Monchi. And again, really nothing that he can do about it. Now down to just the 1 base. Got a couple more Hydras coming out. Monchi is in a very solid position. 6 more Stalkers just being warped in down here. And he continues the push. thundertoss going to hold out as long as he can, though. It's game over. It doesn't matter at all. Drone's coming down to assist as well. Great 2-base push there from Monchi. Unfortunately, thundertoss was not prepared for that, and is forced to call the GG. We saw a very strong 2-base push off of 7 gate and 1 robo, coming out with some immortals to assist against those roaches and help tear down those buildings. Fortunately, again, thundertoss was really not prepared for it. That, in addition to dealing with these force fields being so sentry heavy, Monchi was able to mop him up pretty quickly. Alright guys, that was game number 1 here. This is, of course, a series between these 2 players. We'll be moving on to game 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.